Hello friends, today I want to tell you about the gastrointestinal system introduction and its function. So we will see what is the gastrointestinal system. So gastrointestinal system is a route through which the nutritive substances, vitamins, minerals and fluid enter into the body. So it is a route through which nutritive substance, vitamins, minerals, fluids enter into the body. So when we will take so much nutrition, fluids and food. So this is the route through which the our food enters into our body. So it is the route. So it is called as a gastrointestinal system. And we can see the definition of digestion. So digestion, the process of conversion of complex substances into simple chemical substances that can be observed, is termed as a digestion. So when we consume the food, it cannot be utilized our body directly. So it break down into simple substances such as glucose, amino acid and fatty acid. So these process of conversion of complex substance into chemical substances that absorbed is termed as a digestion. And next we will see the parts of the gastrointestinal system. So first, the gastrointestinal system begins with the mouth and the oral cavity, and it ends with the anal canal. So here we can see the mouth and it ends with the anus. So anal canal, this is the anal canal. So our mouth consists so our GI tract consists of these parts. First, mouth. Next, pharynx, esophagus, followed by stomach and duodenum and rhegium, ileum, cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum and anal canal. So it also includes like salivary glands, liver, gallbladder and pancreas also. And the gastrointestinal tract begins with the mouth. This is the mouth. So we can see here mouth. So it is the mouth, and this part is called as a oral cavity. So it consists of these consist of a teeth, tongue and which helping chewing and swallowing of the food. And next it is followed by the pharynx. So it is the common passage of GI tract and respiratory tract. It is a common part of GI tract and respiratory tract, and it is composed of 3 layers. These are the 3 layers. It is followed by so 3 layers. First one it is nasopharynx, second one it is oropharynx and third one it is laryngopharynx. So nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx, and the anterior portion of laropharynx is continuous with the larynx. Here it has the larynx, so it continues with the larynx. This is the anterior part and this is the posterior part. So it anterior part it consists of larynx and the posterior part it consists of esophagus. So this esophagus is the muscular tube. So it is a muscular tube with a length of 25 centimeters. So muscular tube means it is a ring like structure. See, we can see here it is a ring like structure. So it controls the food from going backward up into the esophagus. So it controls the food going backward up into the esophagus. So it is a muscular tube, length is 25 centimeter and it opens into the stomach. So this esophagus is open into the stomach. So here it opens into the stomach. So this stomach is a hollow muscular bag which stores grains and mixed with the food with the gastric juice and form a sigmoid substance called chyme. So it is formed by a sigmoid substance called chyme. So stomach consists of the hollow muscular bag. So it is a hollow muscular bag. It stores grains and mixed with the gastric juice to form semi-solid substance. So it is called as a chyme. And next it is followed by the small intestine. So these are the parts of the small intestine. First, it consists of the 3 parts. First one is duodenum and second one is jejunum and third one is ileum. So the first part of the small intestine is duodenum and the second part of the small intestine is means middle part of the small intestine is jejunum, and it is followed by the ileum. So the GGM is around 2.5 meters long and the ileum is around 33.5 meters in length, and duodenum is around 25 centimeters in length, and it is followed by the large intestine. So it is a wider, shorter than the small intestine. So large intestine is a wider and shorter than the small intestine. So it consists of it measures about 1.5 in length, and it consists about cecum, appendix, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum, and anal canal. So these are the parts of the GI tract. Next, we will see the functions of the GI tract. So the functions of the GI tract is first one is the secretion of digestive juices, digestion of food, absorption of digested food products, water and electrolysis, and the momentum of food from the mouth towards the anus, and the protection of gut against harmful and toxic substances in the food, and the elimination of waste products, and interstitial bacterial flora. So first we will see about the secretion of digestive juices. So secretion of digestive juices means hydrochloric acid is secreted by stomach. So this hydrochloric bacteria is secreted by stomach. So these HCl kills the bacteria and break down the food and digestive enzymes. So it helps in the secretion of digestive juices, and it is and bile is secreted by the liver, and various digestive juices are secreted by the salivary glands, pancreas, and interstitial epithelial cells. And next, digestion of food. So in digestion of food, the chewing and mixing action of GI tracts causes breakdown of large food particles into smaller size. So in this, by chewing and mixing, large food particles are converted into smaller size. So therefore the enzyme secreted in the digestive juices causes the breakdown of various components of food into smaller molecules. So these are in this digestion of food, the large particles of the food is converted into smaller molecules, and the absorption of digested food products, water and electrolysis. So in this, the digested food particles are absorbed from the lumen. So the absorption and digestion of products water and electrolysis are absorbed by the lumen of the small intestine into the blood. So it is absorbed by lumen into the small intestine of the blood. And next one, momentum of food from the mouth towards the anus. So the momentum of the food from the stomach towards the anus means while this process of digestion, secretion and absorption are going on into the GI tract, the smooth muscles mixed and connected in the lumen of GI tract with various juices and enzymes to move them from the mouth towards the anus. So in this, it is a process of secretion and absorption are going on into the GI tract. So when the process of secretion and absorption are going into the GI tract, the smooth muscles mixed with context in the lumen. So it mixed with the context in the lumen of the GI tract, which with the various juices and enzymes to move them from mouth towards the anus. So various juices are mixed in it and helps in the moving of food towards the anus. And next one is the protection of gut against harmful and toxic substances in the food. So we can see in the stomach HCl is secreted. So means HCl kills the bacteria and break down the food and digestive enzymes. So it protects from the toxic substances like killing bacteria. So the HCl is secreted in the stomach, causes distraction of harmful bacteria to kill them. And next one is elimination of waste products. So the GI tract plays a major role in elimination of solid waste products. Also saliva has antibacterial properties. So in elimination of waste product, the GI tract plays a major role for elimination of solid products. Also in saliva and bacteria properties. And next one, it is followed by interstitial bacterial flora. They are the non-pathogenic bacteria that inhibits the intestine absorption of vitamins and detoxification of harmful substances in the food. And next one, we will see about histology. So histology means we will see about the layers of gastrointestinal tract. So first, the GI tract is made up of 3 layers. So first one, it is outer serosa, middle muscular layer, inner mucosa. So it consists of, it made up of 3 layers. So outer serosa, middle muscular layer, inner mucosa. So serosa is the outer serous layer of the GI tract. So it is the outermost serous layer of the GI tract, and it is formed by peritoneum. So all of you know that peritoneum is the serous layer made up of squamous epithelial tissues surrounded by connective tissue. So peritoneum means it is made up of squamous epithelial tissue and surrounded by connective tissue. So it is formed by the peritoneum. So serosa, serosa is the outermost layer. In this we can see that it has the outermost layer. So it is formed by the, here see, it is formed by the peritoneum. So it is, peritoneum means it is made by squamous epithelial tissue and surrounded by connective tissue. And the middle muscular layer is, and the middle muscular layer is made up of smooth muscles. So it is made by the smooth muscles, and it consists of outer longitudinal and inner circular muscle layers. So it consists of outer longitudinal and inner circular layers. The concentration of circular muscles causes narrowing of lumen of the concentration of longitudinal muscles causes shortening of the gut. So the concentration of circular muscle causes narrowing of the lumen. So it causes narrowing of the lumen. Narrowing means some like depression. So it is the narrow, so it has a depression. So some narrowing of the lumen of the gut. So the muscle fibers are electrically connected. These muscle fibers are electrically connected, means one another one, like this, electrically connected and with one another at many points. So this is the one point and this is the one point, this is the one, they are electrically connected. So you can see here diagram. So see, these are the gastric layers. These are electrically connected with one another. It is called as electrically connected with another with gap junctions. See here, gap junctions. It has gap junctions. The bundle fuses with one another at many points. Therefore, muscle layer functions as. So this is one connector, and here is one connector, and here is one connector, and here is one connector. So at many points these are connected. So these muscle layer functions as syncytium. Syncytium means it is a layer of cell-like structure joining together. So many are joined together. So it functions as syncytium. And the inner mucosa has submucous layer. So and the inner mucosa has submucous layer. So here we can see that mucosa, this is the mucosa and it has a submucous layer. So inner mucosas have submucous layer which is composed of alveolar tissue, bloods, vessels, lymphs and nerves. So these are composed of blood, tissue and alveolar and lymphoids and nerves. So they are lined by a single layer called columnar cells are called mucosa. These columnar cells are called as a mucosa. So it is a mucosa, columnar cells. So columnar cells are also called as a mucosa. and it has a thin layer of muscle called muscular mucosa. So thin layer, it has a thin layer, it is called as a muscular mucosa. So here we can see the diagrams, you can understand. And next one we will see that blood supply. So in this how blood supply is passed. So the blood supply in the GI tract is formed by following branches in aorta. So it is occur in the aorta. First is clinical plexus and second one is superior and inferior mesenteric arteries. And so the blood leaving of GI tract is drained by the portal vein into the liver. So when the blood leaving from GI tract, it is directly drained. So it is drained into the portal vein to the liver, and the GI tract receives nearly 30% of cardiac output. So it receives 30% of cardiac output. So cardiac output means you know that volume of the blood being pumped by the heart by the left and right ventricle per unit time. So 30% of the so the GI tract receives 30% of the cardiac output. The blood flowing in the GIT is proportional to this activity. So it is the proportional to this activity, and the GI circulation to the abdomen is termed as a splenic circulation. So this abdomen is termed as a this GI circulation of the abdomen is termed as a splenic circulation, and the splenic circulation supplies to the stomach, pancreas, colon, liver, spleen, omentum, and the mesenteric tissue. So mesenteric tissue means stomach, and the splenic circulation is arranged both in parallel and series. So it is arranged in both in parallel and series. So the introduction part and the functions are completed. So any doubts, please comment in the comment, so I will help you. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and like my channel.